Golly, that's good. I cracked myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. That's different. I really like that. They're like together, like peas and carrots. That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychauds or Peychauds or Peychaud. This is not what I expected. How's it going? It's Thursday, and yeah, we're inside. I had planned to do this outside. I had everything set up. It was going great. And then the wind picked up. And I had an umbrella over me to keep like birds from pooping on the computer and on the camera and stuff. And so the wind picked up. It was picking up the umbrella. It's like, oh. So we're back down here. That's okay. That's okay. The goal is to try the Benchmark top floor, and that's what we're going to do. I want to say hi to Landon. He's watching. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to get this bad boy poured and give it a shot. Now, this is still Buffalo Trace's Mash Bill #1. This looks cloudy even inside. I mentioned, so for those of you on YouTube, you didn't get to see my teaser video. But anyway, but outside I was looking at this and I was thinking, man, this really looks cloudy. And it still looks cloudy to me inside. Now I'm going to look at the Benchmark 8. See, that looks a lot clearer to me than the Benchmark top floor. I don't know if it's sediment. Next week we're doing the small batch, and that looks clear. I don't know, this looks cloudy. I don't know, that's weird. All right. Get it poured and talk about it just a little bit. Really, the only difference in this is 3%. 6 proof points separates this from the old number 8. This is 80 proof, this is 86 proof. The only other difference is that this rests, I would assume, the same amount of time as this one does. And there's no age statement, so we have no idea how long it sits. But it rests in barrels on the top floor of the rickhouse. So it's going to be much more susceptible to the changes in the weather and the humidity, heat, cold, all that stuff. Pressure changes, right? Because there's high pressure, low pressure systems. So being on the top floor potentially changes this. Now, I've had people tell me that the top floor is their favorite of the Benchmarks. So we're going to give it a fair shake and get into it. We're going to do the whole series. I've got the whole series of Benchmarks. We started off last week with old number 8. Then this week is top floor, and we're going to do it by price. So top floor, after that is the small batch. So this one is $12.99. This one is $14.99. The small batch is $17.99. Benchmark Bonded will be the fourth one at $19.99. Jumping up to $22.99 is the Benchmark Full Proof, and then the Benchmark Single Barrel is $24.99. So almost, well, just about double the price of the old number 8, but still a very reasonable price. Very much so. All right, what we got? What do we got? Aaron's watching. Hey, Aaron, how are you? All right. Not working tonight, Aaron? All right. See, now it does not look all that cloudy in the glass. It doesn't look clear, but it doesn't look cloudy. Not as much as it does in the bottle. It's almost exactly the same notes as the Benchmark 8, except for the notes on the nose are that much more robust. So last week we talked about the Benchmark 8, old number 8. It has some fruit notes. It's got your sweet vanillas. It's got a little honey, all that stuff, and all that is just a little bit amplified on this one. The floral notes are really nice and some really great citrus too. Yeah, really nice butterscotch, which is what I got last week as well. Aaron saying, just put 17 hours in, you're on your downtime. All right, good for you. 17 hours. That's a long day. Goodness gracious. Get that overtime. Yeah, really nice honey note. And you know I love honey. Somebody told me the other day that they like to put honey in their coffee. I don't know if I would like that. Yeah, long day. I don't know if I would like honey. I'll try it. I'll try it. All right. That fruit note is really nice. It's like a, I don't know, sometimes it's plum and sometimes it's raspberry. Just a really nice note. Okay. This is a much better pour than the old number 8. Ooh. At only 6 proof points higher, it's noticeable. Really nice bloom on the tongue. Very nice bloom. It even got up to the roof of my mouth. That's nice. That's nice. Flavors different than the old number 8. The old number 8, what came out, it was completely different than the nose. And the old number 8 gave me more earthy tones, like tobacco and leather a little bit. Benchmark, yes. Benchmark. Did I say something else? Benchmark. if I boo-booed, sorry. But this one, the notes are very, very similar, but there's a little bit more complexity to the pour. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. That's kind of you. Oh yeah, that honey. Oh. So that's one big difference. The honey note on this one is really leaping out at me. I like it. I like a good honey note. That's nice. I like that. Boy. So it does have that tobacco. It does. The leather's not so much. There is a slight bit of that fruit coming through. Not a lot, but the honey note is really there. Nice oak. Not too much. It's not overbearing, the oak. And the cinnamons are there. Although, again, the note that is leaping out at me is the honey. And we're going to run this one through the gamut. We're going to do the whole thing with it. So, yeah, you know what? That's a really good pour. So, I believe next week when we do the small batch, that's when we're going to actually do also a taste test with the Buffalo Trace. It was either that or the bonded, but I think, no, we're going to do small batch. We're going to do a taste test against the Buffalo Trace next week when we do this. I'm really tempted to do it with this one because this is actually a really, really flavorful pour. Very nice. Okay, one more. Fresh crack. You saw me do it. I have not ever had this one before, which is nice. So Kevin was saying last week that he thought that this one is his favorite, and I can see why. This is, ooh. The finish has got a really nice coffee note. Sometimes I forget about the finish. I forget to talk about the finish, right? What happens to it afterwards? That one hit me. It's funny, it's a coffee note. And if you like coffee, then you're going to really like this. Now, this could be because of the cloudiness in that bottle. If you'll remember, you may not have seen it, but if you haven't, go back and watch it. We had a bottle of the Angel's Envy barrel strength. It was Jeff and I, and he brought in a bottle that was very cloudy. And we got into his, and his had this strange coffee note. It was delicious. It was like nothing I'd ever had before. The haziness in his bottle did indeed subside. Oh, excuse me, but I'm wondering if whatever's causing this to cloud up Maybe it's temperature changes. It was inside. I took it outside for the Bourbcast, and then it got cool and windy and brought it back inside. I don't know. I doubt that temperature changes will do that to it, but just it's interesting that this has a coffee note on the finish. Yeah, I like it. All right, let's see what happens when we add a little water to it. I splooshed. All right. I only added a milliliter of water. It killed it. It killed all of the presence of it, right? Any burn that was there, it's gone. I didn't add that much water to it. It shouldn't have died like that. Flavors are still decent. It did change the flavor, and it didn't change the viscosity in the mouth that much. The mouth feel didn't change it that much, but it did change the flavor a little bit. It's a little bit more like the nose now. There's some citrus on it. The honey is still jumping out at me, but not in the same way. It's almost like a little different flavor. There I got a little bit of burn on the tongue, just a little bit. I want to wait. I want to wait for a second and see what happens with the finish, if anything. No, that may be gone. All right, let's get back into it. Yeah, this is much better neat. The flavors are still there. Still got some oak to it. A little bit of that fruit sweetness is there. I just don't care for it on water at all. It does. Let's finish it. All right, so got my glass. Haven't done this in a little while, but I did have to make some new ice spheres. I hope they're gorgeous. It's like glass. Really thin ice. This is just a really inexpensive mold, and I actually like this mold better than the other ones. Spent a lot of money. Hold on, we got to make it gorgeous. Ah, gorgeous, clear ice sphere. Beautiful. I got that other one, the Wintersmiths. Spent a bunch of money on it. Happy to support a new company doing something innovative and new. Just, I don't like using their thing. It's got, you have to use too much water. You know, the base of that thing is huge. And the amount of water you have to put in it to make just normal ice spheres is, I don't know, just seems a lot. I'd like to see them streamline it somehow. I don't know if there's a way to streamline it, but I'd like to see them try. Because, I mean, you stick the thing in there and it's, you know, it freezes, right? That's how it works. And then you get your ice spheres out of it, and now you got this great big block of ice in the bottom of this thing, and you have to wait for it to thaw so you can get the ice out of it and start over again. It's just a little bit clunky. And they do ask for feedback on their website, so I may give some feedback, because I think they're smart. I like the idea that you could do all these different molds. You could do a spear, you can do little spheres, big spheres, cubes, big and small. And they've got some specialty ones out there. I think they got some skulls. I mean, it's a cool product. It just uses way too much water. And I'd love to see them find a way to use less. All right, how does this do on ice, on a gorgeous ice sphere? I got water on my mouse. Oops. Okay. All right. Do a finger stir. All right. Slightly more flavor on ice than on water to me, but again, it just killed it. It killed what was special about this neat. That little alcohol burn, the presence of it, the mouthfeel of it. It just isn't doing it for me on ice and water at all. I expected better of you. Neat. It's wonderful. It's a great pour. Neat. On water and ice, it falls apart. Not as bad as other ones. I mean, it's. There are other ones that I've had that have just completely collapsed. This one doesn't collapse completely, but it's not as good. All right. Okay. So there you have it. Next week is the Benchmark Small Batch. This is going to be a little bit different than the other two. I don't know much about it, but a small batch generally means that you have a certain number of barrels that you choose from. So this small batch may be different than a small batch next year because, you know, every barrel's different, right? And small batches are blends, but they're blends of smaller numbers of barrels, whereas the old number 8 from Benchmark may be a blend of a whole bunch of barrels, so that they can have a consistency all the way through. Small batch has a tendency to be a smaller group of barrels. So we're going to try this one next week. This one goes up a little bit in proof. I believe this one is, yes, 90 proof. So we've gone from 80 to 86 to now 90. And I haven't heard anybody talking about this. You know, they talk about the ones that are harder to find, like the Top Floor, and they like that one, but I'm not hearing people talk about a lot of these other ones. They're talking about bonded quite a bit, which is cool. So we'll get into that one. But next week is this one, and then we'll do that taste test. We'll put them up side by side and see what we think. You know, how close they are. They're the same mash bill, the same recipe. How close are they in actual flavor, mouthfeel, proof? You know, how do they feel? How do they taste? All that stuff. That's going to be next week right here. So, hey, thank you so much for watching this again and being here. Of course, on Instagram, I very rarely go there anymore because it's boring. But that's at Beautiful Bourbon. YouTube, at Beautiful Bourbon. We continue to climb as far as subscribers, which is really a lot of fun. And the new subscribers are commenting a lot, which is really great. It helps us out a lot if you go on there and you subscribe and you comment. So I didn't realize how much it matters, but it matters. It matters a lot. And it does on Facebook too. If you comment on Facebook, that helps. So the more that we can interact, the more this show gets spread out. So I appreciate it. We will see you next week with the Benchmark Small Batch. See ya.